So I've been struggling all week to make this video. I didn't want to make this video, but I've kind of realized that, hopefully I don't get another opportunity. So this is going to be my only chance to, share my experiences with you, be completely open about the subject, and kind of share my feelings on, how do I say this? When someone takes their own life, and share my own feelings on social media and the effect it can have on us, because I'm definitely experiencing a lot of these things as well. And I apologize if I talk slow and I say a lot of ums and uhs. Like I said, I've tried to make this video already. I tried to write something out. I couldn't do it. I'm already shaking just trying to say this right now. So hopefully you bear with me and can get some value out of what I want to say. So I should start off by saying this isn't exactly an Etika video, rest in peace. I didn't really watch his content, to be honest. I didn't even really like it, but I know he was beloved by a lot of people, and I've experienced this situation 3 times with personal friends in my own life. And the most recent person was actually somebody who I had dated for about 3 years, and then, things fell apart. We stopped seeing each other, and then a year or 2 later, I get a call telling me she took her own life. So I guess what I'm trying to say is, if you're angry, if you're upset, if you feel guilt, I get all that. I've been there with the ex-girlfriend who passed away. I still think about her very often. There's always going to be a bit of guilt there for me, I think. The anger, the sadness, all that stuff. The anger comes from, the feeling that this is kind of a selfish act in a way, because it has such a huge, huge effect on all the people that cared about the person. So if you're angry, it's perfectly normal. It's 100% completely normal. But I guess the guilt is, the big thing, one of the big things I wanted to talk about, because I don't think really anyone should be feeling guilt when these things happen. And I wanted to share something that my ex-girlfriend's younger brother said at her funeral. And so this is coming from, a guy, I think he was like 16 or 17 at the time. And she had been struggling with depression and suicidal thoughts for a long, long time. It's, kind of one of the reasons why we fell apart and why there's a bit of guilt there. But anyway, so her brother said he got up to speak, and it was very hard for him to find the words. I could see it was a very big deal for him to kind of say this, but he said something along the lines of like, I've heard a lot of people say, if only I reached out sooner, or I wish I could have, been there for her more, and this and that, right? Kind of like putting some of the blame on themselves, saying like, oh, if they did something, maybe this wouldn't have happened, type of thing. And what he was saying is, just stop. Stop blaming yourself. None of you have any responsibility. She's been struggling with this for a while. And if she couldn't be strong and figure out a way to, deal with it, cope with it, solve it, maybe even, if she couldn't figure out a way to do all that for her family, and with all the support they were giving her, and trust me, they were giving her a lot of support. If she couldn't do that for the family, then there's no way anything, some friend was gonna do. I have a feeling I had a pretty big role in her life. Her parents were telling me I was probably the most significant person in her life, aside from her family as well. And there was nothing any of us could have done that would have changed her decision. And there was a point during our rocky, towards the end part of our relationship, where, she called me, and she was actually going to go through with it in her backyard. She was going to hang herself. So, I was on the phone with her, and what I did, oh my God, the shower just started. I hope it isn't too loud in the background. So what I did is I called her mother, I was on the phone with her, and I kind of like I lied to her or something. I said, "Oh, I'm getting another call from like my mom or my work or something like that, like something that like I really needed to answer." And I was just like, "Please, stay on the line. I'll be right back in like 30 seconds," type of thing. So I put her on hold. I quickly called her mother, told her mother what was happening, made her mother rush to the house, and then I got back on the phone with her to just stall her until her mother got there. A few minutes later, I start hearing her mother's, screaming and calling over the phone type of thing. I can hear her very faintly in the background. And then I got off the phone and everything was okay. But her mother actually found her in the process of, getting the rope around the tree, type of thing. So like it was attempted once, and it was attempted a second time, and there's nothing anyone could do to stop it. So like, if you feel some sort of guilt, you feel some sort of responsibility, I just wanted to kind of share that with you so that hopefully, hopefully I can get through to you and make you realize that, if Etika couldn't, if he couldn't do it with the support from his closest friends and family, then there's nothing like any of us, like, or any of you guys fans, could have said or done type of thing. So stop putting the blame on yourself. I don't know how to end this thought, but, hopefully you get what I'm saying. Don't feel guilty. Please don't feel guilty. And I guess another big thing I wanted to talk about was, for all the people that kind of, feel this way sometimes, they think about, maybe not existing anymore. I've been there too. I've been there, quite often, to be completely honest. And the more I think about, my ex-girlfriend and my two friends in high school that passed, I've been thinking recently that, if they hung on for like another year, 2 years type of thing, so much could have changed. Because when I get into these, super, super depressed moods and I think, this is going to be my life for the next 80 years. I hate it. I'm miserable. I don't want to do this. What is even the point of this? I feel like that for a couple weeks or a couple months at a time. And then, maybe something happens. A new game or TV show comes out that I'm really excited for, or I get a new job like I did 3 months ago. And then all of a sudden it's like, oh, I have purpose again. I'm motivated again. And I know it might sound silly, but so much can change so quickly, and a lot of the way that you feel is also kind of dependent on how you take care of yourself as well. So for example, if you're getting 4-6 hours sleep every night, you're gonna feel like crap when you wake up. Whenever I get, like 4 hours of sleep and I wake up and I gotta go to work, I'm like, oh my God, I can't do this for the next 60 years. I just want to end this. How am I gonna live like this type of thing? And then the days where I get like 8 to 10 hours, I wake up and I'm like, oh my God, I feel like Superman. I can conquer the world. I can do anything. Life is great. Life is good. And, the same goes for eating properly, exercising type of thing. I know it's cliche and you've probably heard it a million times before, but it really, really does make a difference. Take it from me, someone who smokes and drinks a crap ton of coffee. I feel like crap all the time. And then when I start, cutting out some of that stuff, trying to drink more water, trying to sleep a little bit better, trying to eat a little bit better, I start feeling better. So I guess what I'm trying to say is, if you feel like crap physically, mentally, hang in there. A lot can change, and it all starts with you, maybe start with one thing, try to get a little bit more sleep, or if you're sleeping way too much, try to, limit yourself to 8 hours type of thing. Then next step, maybe exercise, maybe try to get a new job, change of scenery, just switch things up, It makes such a big difference. And I guess something along the same lines of that too, and I don't mean to sound harsh when I say that, is everyone thinks their problems are so unique, and the miserable situation that they're in, no one's ever felt this way before. No one understands how I feel. My problems are so unique. These feelings are so unique, and to be completely honest, they're not. And it's funny, social media is kind of like screwing a lot of people up in the head, myself included, but at the same time, social media has made us realize that there are so many other people out there that have these, weird, quirky thoughts that we also have, that we thought are so unique. And a lot of other people have these same problems and situations as us. So, at the end of the day, there's someone out there, multiple people out there who have gone through what you're going through, and you're never alone. You're not alone. And if you think that way and you think that no one will miss you, you're 100% completely wrong. There's always someone that will miss you. And that's kind of, after experiencing someone kind of leaving in such an early fashion 3 times in my life, it's kind of solidified this promise I have with myself that, as long as I have family out there and friends that really care about me, then there's no possible way I could take my life and put them through that. It's just my kind of like personal pact with myself, because I know how much it hurts people. I've been there multiple times already. So just know, as dark and alone as it might feel sometimes, there's always somebody out there who really cares about you. At least one person. And even if it's just one person, that should be enough to keep you going. You don't want to hurt them like that. You don't want to hurt anybody like that. And so, I mean, if you're feeling, these kind of ways, please, if you feel like you have no one to reach out to, just reach out to me. The easiest way to get a hold of me would be to send me a direct message on Twitter. I get those notifications right on my phone. I see all of them. So that would be the easiest way to get in touch with me, and we can talk about it. And if I'm being completely honest, I'm not going to share the person's name, but there has been, a subscriber of this channel that's messaged me in the past. Long time fan from the very beginning of my channel. And a year or two ago, he messaged me, going through a tough time at school, people bullying him, girls don't seem to like him, really thinking of, not being here anymore. And, I want to say, hopefully I made an impact. Hopefully you talked to some other people, because he's still around. So if you feel like you have no one to talk to, I mean, go ahead. You can always send me a message. Twitter would be the best way. So I wanted to talk about social media and YouTube and kind of the effect it has on us people. And I guess a good way to kind of go into this would be to kind of talk about how I feel about Etika, because at the beginning I said I didn't really like his content. So a couple of years ago when I first started, making YouTube videos, I think it was, I don't know when Attica started as well, but I think it was around the same time. But he was already like super, super popular, and I was still, maybe a channel with like 10,000 subscribers or something like that. I don't know. The numbers don't matter. But Attica was getting big numbers, and me being an immature, bullheaded a-hole, I just thought, he was loud and obnoxious. Just all of his videos were just him yelling at stuff and dropping the N-bomb every 2 seconds, So I was jealous of the guy, obviously. I'm like, how is he getting all these views just, screaming at stuff, and I'm putting in, every week I'm spending all week kind of doing like a video essay type of, guide or some type of video that took me all week to write and record and edit and produce. And So I was just jealous, right? So I was jealous, I was salty, and then as the years went by, I start to mature. Those feelings go away. I start to, see why people enjoy Etika. Whenever there's a new Smash reveal, I always go to check his reaction type of thing. So I wouldn't say, in the last couple of months that I would dislike his content anymore. I guess I grew out of that. But what I'm trying to say is, like, I wasn't, like, a big Etika fan. So the whole thing isn't hitting me as hard as it is a lot of other people, I'm very sure. And so I wasn't going to make this video and just talk about Etika the whole time because, I'm not going to sit here and lie to you about how big of an impact he had in my life or anything like that. I just want you to know that I kind of understand a lot of the feelings that come with this territory. And so social media, I was watching a video kind of about this situation. I forget who put it out. I don't know if it was Keith or somebody else, but they put in this awesome quote by Bo Burnham, and hopefully I can find it. If I find it, I'll put it in right here.
Social media, it's just the market's answer to a generation that demanded to perform. So the market said, here, perform everything to each other all the time for no reason. It's prison. It's horrific. It is performer and audience melded together. What do we want more than to lie in our bed at the end of the day and just watch our life as a satisfied audience member? I know very little about anything, but what I do know is that if you can live your life without an audience, you should do it.
And for me personally, I mean, that it's kind of like super true. Like when I was a very young teenager, I kind of had this idea, one day I'm going to grow up and be famous. I was playing drums all the time. I was playing in bands. We were starting to play shows. We were starting to record music and things like that. So I was like, okay, I'm going to be famous one day. That's my destiny. I don't want to work a normal job. That sucks. I don't want to be a wage slave. I'm going to be, I'm going to be in the limelight type of thing. I'm going to be something above, the average working class person. Obviously, by this point, I've realized that's not happening. And the whole social media, social network thing has kind of enabled this idea in my head for so long. And now that I'm kind of finally accepting that that's not going to be the path for me, I guess. It does kind of affect you mentally, I guess I would say. And also just posting things on social media and kind of expecting or anticipating comments and replies. Like, for example, if I've recently noticed if I kind of start arguing or debating with somebody on Facebook or Twitter about a touchy, sensitive, serious subject, every time I say something and hit that post button, I get like super anxious. My heart starts beating like a million beats per minute, and I'm just like, I don't know what they're gonna say. I don't know what I should say next. Maybe what I said was too much, and it's just like, my mind is overwhelmed, my body is overwhelmed. It's just not a good feeling, and it's like, why do I feel this way? Why do I feel all this anxiety and this stress over comments back and forth on social media with people I don't even know, sometimes people I've never met before, and it's oh my god. So I can get why it messes people up in the head, and to be honest, it's a very new thing. We don't have studies on this. We don't have hundreds of or decades worth of research on the effect that social media has on our mentality and our psyche and things like that. So who knows how dangerous it actually is. And so when I started realizing that I was constantly checking Facebook and Twitter to see if people were liking and commenting on my things, and I constantly needed all this validation from my peers on social media, I was like, okay, I need to take a step back. And what I did was I removed Facebook, because I guess that's my main social network. I removed Facebook from the home screen on my phone, and I logged out. So if I wanted to go into Facebook, I had to open up the menu of all the apps on my phone and physically type in my password and log back in. So I kind of made it a bit of a chore to go on, and I guess I took a break for 3 days. Only 3 days, but there was like barely any Facebook use for those 3 days, and I gotta tell you, it felt pretty good. I was not constantly thinking about, oh, what are people gonna say about that thing I said? Are people gonna laugh about that thing I posted? It was none of that, and it was a good feeling. There was no anxiety, no I need to be checking my phone every 2 minutes. It was good. So I mean, if you're ever wondering why I don't post as much as I used to, and go super hard in the YouTube grind and things like that, it's at the end of the day, I've sort of kind of accepted that I'm never gonna be a YouTube celebrity, YouTube famous, and to be honest, I feel like if I ever hit that point of YouTube success and I had like 1 million plus subscribers, it would probably go to my head really, really fast and not be healthy. So it's probably a good thing. And, I want to be successful in, media and YouTube related industries like the job I have right now. And if I can just, have fun doing that, which I currently am, then I'll be happy. But the thing is, like, it takes so much time out of my day that when I get home, I'm not exactly motivated to make a video. And then at the same time, I have this whole thing in my head saying like, oh, I just want to make videos for fun. But every time I make a video, I'm going to get all these numbers, right? The view numbers, the like numbers, the comment numbers. And if those numbers aren't high enough, I'm going to get a little bit upset and a little bit discouraged and not want to make more videos and yada, yada, yada. So it's like an endless vicious cycle, and I'm trying to get to the point where I can just post videos because I really just want to post them. I just want to have fun, but I also want people to see them. I want to get views. It's a never-ending thing. So I guess I should end this by saying, if you feel like social media is kind of taken over your life and you need way too much validation from your likes and your comments and your reactions and things like that, I totally get you as well. And if you want to vent about that, the door's open as well, type of thing. We can all kind of share our experiences in the comments section below, I guess. And the other thing, obviously, when it comes to the bigger picture of mental health and keeping yourself and your loved ones around for as long as possible. The guilt, the anger, the sadness, I get it. A lot of other people get it. And if you're on the opposite end of that, you're feeling the depression, the anxiety, same thing. You're not alone. You're, I don't mean to be harsh when I say this, but your situation isn't completely unique. There are other people out there who feel the same way and relate to you. And I mean, if you just gotta start taking the steps to make your life better. It starts with you. At the very beginning of it, it has to start with you. There's no one that's gonna, magically come into your life and just make things better. I'm really not trying to be harsh. I'm trying to be loving when I say these things, because I don't want anyone to go through this pain a second time or a third time or a first time. I don't want anyone to put their family and friends through this pain. So like I said, the door's open. If you really, really feel like there's no one you can talk to and you feel extremely alone, send me a message. Or, if you want to talk about something and you feel like maybe I can relate to you and you can relate to me or whatever, shoot me a message. And hopefully I don't get any negative comments on this video. I'm not trying to do this for, the clout or the attention or anything like that. I've been through so much. I'm turning 27 in like a month and a half, less than a month and a half, like a month and a week, I guess. I'm turning 27, and yeah, it's weird to say. I've been through a lot of stuff. I moved out like really early because I had a falling out with my parents, and then that ex-girlfriend who passed at the time, she was my girlfriend. She was like the only person I had when I was living on my own. She was just a huge part of my life, and then that whole thing happened. So I mean, I've jumped through the flames with you guys. Even if Etika wasn't the biggest person in my life, hopefully you can take something away from my experiences and trust that I understand those feelings and that you can get some value out of the things that I've said. And hopefully we can make the comments section a place for supporting people and strengthening other people. Obviously, I'm not going to monetize this video. I'm not too familiar with making sensitive videos like this and whether or not YouTube is going to put their own ads on the video regardless of whether I turn monetization off. So hopefully you don't see any ads, but if you do, just know, 100% obviously I turned them off on my end. And yeah, I guess that's it. Holy crap, I didn't mean for this video to be this long, but like I said, I've been fighting with the idea of making it for a while, and I didn't know how to go about it. I tried writing. I wrote out like 4 lines, and then I'm like, I can't do this. I can't prep a video like this. So I'm sorry for all the rambling, and let me know how you feel in the comments. Thank you. Stay safe. Love each other. Log out of Facebook every now and then, and have a good one.